Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Education Concierge Podcast, Season 8. My name is, well, you know who I am. Well, my name is Benita G. I am the host of the Education Concierge Podcast. Family, friends, visitors, guests, welcome. Season 8, we went international, we went global. And you know how I feel because every person should have a therapist, and every therapist should have a therapist, and every mentee should have a mentor, and you should have people that are above you. So this year, I got people that are right up here, the gurus in education. The ones that I go to their Instagram, I go to their LinkedIn, I have their personal numbers, I call them and say, how you do this? What do I need to do with this? One of the best things I got this year was you don't have any letters behind your name, but you have the experience, so you need to get it. I have a woman on today, a sister friend, amazing educator. So she's like me. She's been in this section and this section and been here and there, building a resume, but not on purpose. It's just simply because that's just how we are. That is who we are about education. I'm going to bring her in, and you know how we bring people in because we're Southerners. So be ready. We're going to bring her in. Once she is in, she is part of our family. So treat her as such. You know how we do play cousins are real cousins. All right. I'll bring you in, Principal. Come on in. Introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Hello. I'm so grateful to be here. This is going to be a treat. I already can tell. I am Trelane Clark. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and I am the head of school at a local private school where I just started just about a month ago.
So wait before you get started. I am a little country girl from Lawrenceville, Virginia. We talked about that in the pregame. Y'all know I'm gonna start recording the pregame, y'all. I keep telling y'all. In the South, as you may know, because Southerners are everywhere.
Yes.
When you come over for dinner, you have to go into the house, leave your shoes at the door, go down the hall to the kitchen, not to the kitchen, go down the hall to the bathroom, wash your hands in the bathroom because you better not wash your hands in my kitchen sink unless you're cooking. And then you come on in and we have your plate ready. So TEC family, we're going to have your plate ready. She's going to be here. But we also have to give you a nice cold glass of sweet tea because unsweetened tea is the best. Who makes that? Who makes that? We will give you some water just because you can adjust your tea because it might be too sweet for you. But the next time you come on the podcast, you are already famous. So you have to go in and fix your own plate and you can do what you want to. But I must say, because our mother was like this, we have segregated plates because some people don't like their food to touch other things. So please know that we have that because that's how our family did. So you just let me know which plate you need.
Love it. I got you.
So let's get started. So you are a principal, y'all, 40 days and 40 nights of the wheel time. She has come through. We are so grateful. You know, we love it when we see women of color. Let me just be real. When we see Black women leading, private, working your homeschool, micro school, unschool, Montessori school, I don't care. When we see you leading, it's essential because every child needs to see women of color in a variety of positions, places, and atmospheres.
Yes.
So tell us, how did you get started in education? Because, my story was not, I was trying to be a nurse. How did you get started in education? And how did you become the principal that you are now? And how did you imagine in education?
Yes. Okay. So I actually decided that I wanted to be a principal when I was 14 years old. That some people go, really? Is that true? And it is 100% true. I had so many amazing educators as role models, and my principal in the elementary school. I just wanted to be like them. And I ended up going to school, getting my degrees, and I started teaching in the public schools. I didn't go to public school for very long. I actually did more private school. I went to a private high school. I went to a parochial school for elementary school. Going to those schools, I had gotten so much richness, so much. My education was just unparalleled, I believe. And I just felt that why couldn't public school students experience similar quality of education? So it always kind of intrigued me to think about, okay, I'm going to go to public school when I get ready to work because I want to be able to try to bring some of what I was able to get to my roles in public school. So I'm 20, this year will be 28 years in. So total. And I'm so grateful. It has definitely been a journey and I don't regret any part of it. I've learned so much and I'm still learning so much every single day. And I've just now moved from public school leadership to private school leadership, something that I hadn't really expected to do. But I'm really, really glad about the place where I am right now.
I love that. So how, and I see that all the time, and y'all know I've done public, private, overseas, back again, in the classroom, out of the classroom, back again. Like it is what it is. How you grew up saying, I went to private schools. I was able to see the difference. And even when I came out as an educator, I was like, okay, so how can I disrupt some of the things I knew as a child? That's
Mhm.
amazing that you even
Mm.
started as a child. And then how can I disrupt that as a child? And then how do I reimagine it now? So as you're entering your leadership position in a different setting, because it's still leadership. Kids are still kids. Their parents have the money, or the parents don't have the money, but kids are still kids. They still have issues and concerns and all of the things across the globe, I say. Where do you see the future of education going? So, and you're in Boston, so I always tell people Boston kind of at times leads the education ecosystem, the atmosphere of education evolves a lot of times around Boston, which I have yet to figure out why, but I'm going to figure it out one day. Like Boston, Texas, Florida, New York, Cali, like these are the space, and not to say other places are not essential, but these are the spaces that when you see things leading or you see innovation or you see change happening, that is where it is. So how do you see, or what do you see as like the future? Where are we going with education, whether it's private or public? Because right now it's all over the place.
One of the things that I have been very passionate about and vocal about is equity in education, and really making sure that educators truly understand the definition of
Mhm.
equity and that it is not the same as equality. As we become more and more solid in our understanding of what equity is, what it should look like, and what it should look like is really the big key, right? Because you can't always explain every aspect of school equity. But when you can see it in action, when you see that children who you may think would not be able to accomplish something are able to accomplish it because they've been given the right resources. And those resources are not always capital, they're human resources,
Mm.
right? That the number of educators that are available to support those children and who are qualified, that is a huge aspect of equity. So I think that as education as an industry continues to really think about the fact that education is not for some, it is for all. And how we do that is based upon their needs. So we have to meet their needs in order to get the results that they want. And we would say that we want, right? We want them to be successful. We want them to live up to their God-given potential, right? However, if we're not focused on making sure that their basic needs are met, right? And we always can go back to Maslow before Bloom or whatever, right? But that's really real. If a
Yeah.
child is hungry, they are not doing math. It's really that simple, right? As an adult, we've learned coping strategies to be able to, no, I didn't have breakfast. I can wait till lunch and, I'll be all right. We've learned that. But a second grader has not learned that yet. And sometimes a second grader can't even articulate that that's what they need. So that's why we're there. So as we continue to actually learn more and more about our role as adults in this process and what we do and what we don't do is exactly related to school equity. then we're going to continue and we will move forward. And I really do maintain my hope, even though there are lots of ways I could be cynical about the future of education. But I think that as we, you look at all of the organizations and you read the articles, etc. And I've been really impressed with a lot of the things that I've been seeing around the research around equity and school achievement. So it does give me hope that people are beginning to think differently about where we need to go so that our children can be successful.
Oh my goodness. So you said a lot. I mean, just it's one of those things where it's like, we know, but why don't y'all listen to us? Like, we're telling you, but do you hear us? And I think one of the things COVID did a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Lives. People lost their livelihoods. But one of the things it did was it exposed what we have been trying to say about a lot of things in a positive and negative light on education. And one of the things I was in Miami at the time, and one of the things we realized, well, we already knew, because I had to say it to somebody and said, I see my students Monday through Saturday. And the lady said, huh? I said, right. I see my students Saturday because I teach Saturday school. Therefore, let me break it down for you. Monday through Saturday, my students can eat at the school, breakfast, lunch, snack, if they do after school care. Certain after school care, they do dinner.
Wow.
The only time my students really have to worry about food or the parents, because it's a financial thing, is on Sunday. Depending on where they are, they can get backpacks. Some of my students, I knew who they were. They would collect the fruit because we had a place you could put if you don't want the fruit. They knew they could get the fruit and put it in their book bag because they were taking it home to siblings.
Yes, I've seen that.
And so when we closed the building, a lot of teachers, we were concerned about how my baby's going to eat. And I told them, so a second grader and an eighth grader, stomachs are still hungry.
Absolutely.
Still cannot navigate like an adult, even though they might be 5'3" like I am. They might. I'm looking you. Still cannot navigate, like you said. Like I can. I might have some, like in the country we say nabs, NABS. I might have some nabs in my purse, but these are children. And so when you said that, I thought about that, and I was like, that is where we forget. That is part of equity. That is the part where you said to the students, go home and join online, but you didn't get on the Wi-Fi.
Yep.
So then we had to backtrack and call AT&T and T-Mobile. We need Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
We're pulling the school bus up at the end of the block so the kids in the neighborhood can get Wi-Fi to get online. Because we don't have Wi-Fi. And so we forget the technology gap.
Yes, for sure.
My goodness. So that is you. Thank you. Because I think we've forgotten it. And we have to remember that's a never ending story. Never ending story. We have communities and families that are striving, and we have communities and families that are thriving. And we have to navigate that. And we have to be the community and be the village to help them. But like, in middle school, in my classroom, Costco, go ahead and give me a sponsorship. Because I'm in Costco. I'm in Costco getting sanitary napkins. I'm in Costco getting deodorant and baby wipes. I'm in Costco getting snacks. I'm in Costco getting water.
Wow.
And so I got a little refrigerator in my room.
Yeah. It is so, it is, as you even said that, I said, well, I don't have to do that now. And I'm not sure yet how I feel about that. I miss my babies where I was, and I really wish them and their families well, because they are amazing children and families. Yet many had many needs that, we did our best. We did our best to do what we could, including things like what you've just mentioned, and not sort of having to do that now. My hope is that, one, there are other ways that I can continue to bridge the gaps, right? Because everything is not perfect just because you have quote unquote more access to resources, right? How we use those resources is still very, very important, right? So being able to know and figure out what my role is going to be in supporting instruction and supporting teachers in different ways that are going to be very different to them, that also maybe have been different in my previous context, right? So it's definitely going to be very interesting, but I'm so grateful to be able to have the two different experiences and really blend them. And people, people will say, oh, what's your leadership style? And I usually will say mine. You want a textbook definition, I can't give it to you. It is truly a blend of the experiences that I've had in public, private, suburban, religious schools over the years. And I take a little bit from everywhere and I just bring it in and I call it my style. You can't find it in authoritarian and transformative and no, you have to be a little bit of everything at different times and match the context, match the needs, and do that in a way that's authentic to you. So I really try to do that.
I'm so glad you said that because I'm so glad you said that. So we have to let go of the old way we were doing education.
Yes.
And that is what we were doing. Well, what's your leadership style? No, because we've learned that our principals and administrators, assistant principals, are human beings. Oh my goodness. Yes. No, and being a human being, you come with all of the things.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
all of that makes you who you are to be in a leadership position.
Yes. People are not hiring you to be someone else.
No.
Right? There's something that is in you that they realize is necessary in that space. And so, as I've told my daughter, I said, being you is the only person you can be because everybody else is taken.
And it's
right.
Hard. It's hard.
Exactly. So as a leader, it is so critical to really think about how you can blend and mix all of your own experiences, all of the things that have gone wrong, right? Slip ups that you've had, the feedback that you got that you didn't necessarily solicit, right? But that you had to maybe do something with, right? You've got to take all of that and continue to build yourself up as an individual so that you can build yourself up as a leader.
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to slip into the controversial corner because this is right here. And since we're talking about it, I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about it. Here. I'm not even going to stay here. The past year, now mind you, we're talking about school year. So the past school year and now this current school year. I either know and or have heard of educators dying. So
yes.
where I am, they lost an amazing principal. And I only knew about this principal from just other people in the community. School has only been in here, I want to say a good 3 weeks. It was a principal or AP, dearly loved. Was not even 60 yet. When I taught in Miami, we lost a teacher at the school. He had a heart attack at the school. We removed the kids, and I mean, like, have been there. You're a staple in our community. You're a staple in our school. You're a staple in our community. I don't even think he was 60 yet. Here's the controversial part of it, because I was talking to a friend today. What is the problem? What are we not doing correctly to ensure that we are taking care of ourselves and we set the boundaries to ensure self-care? And that's why it's controversial point, because people are like, you didn't send me that in the notes. I didn't. I didn't.
Well, I think you got the right one at the right time.
Come on, man. Got the right one for
so,
love it.
Wow, this is a topic that is ever present in my life. The changes that I am making and have made over the last few years, I'm even surprised at myself. You said, what are we not doing? And when you say we, I might need to know first who you mean.
I think when I say we, I am specifically. So let's talk about Because when I say we, I am including at this present time Black women. Because like I tell my students, I've never been anything but that. That's all I know. That's all I've been. Uh, I've never tried to be anything else but a Black woman. And I say that because um, the people who have passed away have been either Black men or Black women that I know. I'm not saying. I mean, people pass away all the time,
Mhm,
but it's been black. It's been majority of Black women in education
mhm,
and who have been in leadership positions at that. Occasionally, it may be a classroom teacher. Not saying that they are not as stressed, but
mhm,
right
mhm.
now, recently, it has been Black women in leadership
Yeah,
positions.
yeah, yeah. So one of the things that we are not doing is honoring our need to be human, honoring the gift that we have of being human. And that looks like, I'm going to be really basic because I had to do this, not breathing, not paying attention to your breath to the point that you are holding your breath when you don't even realize it, and learning how to breathe. I can't even tell you how transformative that very small, you would think it's so small because we can't do nothing without breathing, but just being able to pay attention to my breath and to inhale through my nose, to exhale through my mouth, to be able to activate everything else that's within me, that right there is transformative. And so, actually paying attention to our bodies when our bodies are saying, I'm tired, I need to stop, I can't do any more than what I'm doing right now. And if you keep pushing me, I'm going to make you make me stop. My body did that to me and has done that to me several times. I've had pains where I didn't think I could have a pain and was unexplained. Going to get an MRI, not knowing why my back was hurting. They had no answer for me. No answer. Pain in my neck, my shoulders for 2 years that I'm just now making the time to deal with. Because I had the time, but I would not allow myself to actually take the time to go to deal with it. We a lot of the reason for that I find is that Black women in particular who are in leadership often experience a level of scrutiny, a level of a heightened sense of attention that is unwarranted and often unnecessary, that folks are looking for her to mess up, waiting for the next shoe to drop. And that's a lot to hold on to. It's a lot to try to prevent on a daily basis.
Mm,
And so we often have that just over our heads. It's just lingering there. It's in the background until it comes into the foreground. And all during that time, we're not resting, we're not going to the doctor, we're not taking the days off that are actually contractually a part of our contracts.
mm,
Um, we're not stopping on the weekends. We're saying, oh, I gotta get to that email even on Saturday when nothing's gonna happen till Monday. So setting those boundaries, it takes a lot and it takes one step at a time. And I am not perfect at it by no means, but there are a few things that I do that I'm pretty consistent with, I would say. I do not do work on Saturdays
mm.
anymore. No more. I
Okay.
do no more schoolwork on Saturdays. When I start to do schoolwork, it's probably going to be after 4 p.m. on Sunday. And I say probably because sometimes that doesn't happen. Monday morning, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Right.
Mm,
The times where I have like done nothing for an entire day, my goodness, I should stop. You are allowed to do nothing for. So it's all about giving ourselves permission to be human and to like love ourselves enough to do it. And again, I am this is a journey for me, but I am enjoying the journey because even today, I just went to go work out and I did a walk. I didn't do anything else. I came home and took a nap.
Ooh, a good old nap.
So, you know, sometimes that's what we need, but we just got to give ourselves permission because we're worth that. We work hard. We work hard and we deserve that time. So we got to just give ourselves the permission to do it.
Thank you. And you speaking to me, speaking to so many, and we're not excluding other races, cultures, ethnicities, or genders, but I
Absolutely.
only speak about what we know about right now.
Yep.
And this is
Hmm.
what we know about. But I love that. Give yourself permission and you deserve it.
Yes.
And then you said something that I've never heard anybody say. The days, your days off are in your contract. Now, and when I say that, I've never heard an administrator because y'all know me. I was that teacher. You dock my pay. I'm gonna take these days. Oh, I'm overtime. Oh, I'm over. Okay. And I was that teacher that I'm not. When I put in for my days off, I'm not asking for permission. I'm giving you a courtesy to let you know I'm not showing up. My daddy, I'm grown. My daddy don't. I don't get permission from my daddy to do stuff. I'm grown. I'm a whole educator. And I've had to remind, and one of my administrators, when I took personal days, and she was like, "Tell me again why you need these personal days."
Mm.
I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. What you talking about?
Mm.
And said it in front of people I didn't know. Like I don't know what they did. I was just coming back, and I had to pull her into my room. I've never 26 years teaching. I've never had an administrator bully or be disrespectful in any kind of way. And I sat there and I said, "Sure, what rules of violation you're committing right now, or crime, or whatever it's." I
Mm.
said, but I took personal days. I had them. Lesson plans were here. Everything was laid out because I'm a little OCD about that. I communicated with my assistant principal, so she knew in advance. Communicated with everybody on my team. Even
Mhm.
communicated with my students, let them know I'm gonna take these days. I
Mm.
got these days off because
Mm.
I have a life and there's some things I need to handle. And I said, let me even go even personal with you. I went to go figure out what if I wanted to do IVF again. I said, but that's something that you should know.
Mhm.
And she was like,
Wow.
I said, so please understand that when you walk out of my room, I'm about to send a nice email to everybody because I know you didn't just come up in here and ask me about my personal time.
Yeah.
I didn't put in for sick leave. I literally took personal days. And I said, I know what I'm doing. And so she was like, well, I said, so at this point, don't talk to me until I talk to you. Who said
Yeah.
I have never had to say that. But that was
Mm.
the boundaries because I was like, what are you talking about? But what I did not know was that she was doing that to everybody. And
Mhm.
you don't understand boundaries. You don't understand that that's none of your business. It's a courtesy. Like I'm letting you know. Like, what are you talking about? We have the days. I have the days that don't have. I'm not going over the days. I actually have days left. There's
Mhm.
some days that I work from 8 to 3. I can't handle from 8 to like I can't handle the 3. There's
Mhm.
something I need to handle during the day. That's why you give us these personal days to handle our
Mhm.
personal business. But I'm glad
Mhm.
you said that. So thank you for coming to Controversial Corner because you just released some people and set some people free.
Mhm. Yay.
And that's why we have this podcast because we want to just really talk about, really collaborate, really understand what we need to be doing as educators, as professionals. Because I keep reminding people, we are professionals. We have all of these degrees, all of this loan money. If you have loan, Biden helped a little bit, but I still got some loans. We're not gonna talk about politics. That's a different controversial corner. I do want us to slide into. We're getting ready to wrap it up. We're in the middle. We slide into ASCD Ghana.
Yes.
Please share with the audience what you did, your experience. They already know mine. I can't even describe it,
Mhm.
but I will say this. When I got off the plane and saw people that look like my cousin, it's not my cousin, but they're supposed to be my cousin. Hey,
Mhm. Mhm.
it was an experience I had never experienced before, and I do not take it for granted. I will be there again next year. I'm excited. I was tired,
Mhm.
did a lot, learned a lot, ate a lot. Lord, I ate so much. I drank all the coconut water I could get my hands on. My skin had been cleared, and I came back to the States. Got the same coconut. I don't want that coconut water in that thing. I want the coconut water out of the coconut. It's never do the same. But please share with us how you reimagine education there. You were already doing it. That's why you were able to come to ASCD. But more importantly, what did you present? What did you receive? And how are you going to take that moment and turn it into a movie?
Oh boy. All right. Well, going to ASCD's Ghana's first International Educator Summit was the realization of many dreams. And one of them was to go back to Ghana because I had the opportunity to study in Accra when I was a junior in college. And I have not been back since until this moment. So it was so amazing to be there as a real grown up, I say. And able to really experience the people and the country and the environment in a whole new way. This was probably the most transformative thing I have ever done in my life. I also wanted to present for ASCD. So that was another dream that I had. So being able to marry those two was pretty awesome. My presentation was actually on resilience. Resilience is a really big piece for me personally and as an educator. And I went there with the intention of, talking about just a little framework for how you can really kind of help yourself to be resilient. And then we visited Asin Manso and Cape Coast. So Asin Manso, which is the last bath where captured Africans were taken to bathe and get washed up, ready for sail to get onto the ships that would take them to the Americas. I actually had never heard of that place. And I was angry that I hadn't heard of that place. I was angry for a couple of reasons. One, because I was a double major in Spanish and African American studies. And two, because even in my own studies, I had not heard of it. And so I said, my goodness, that stepping on the ground with my feet, walking that path down to the river, putting my feet in the river, watching the water go over my feet. I feel like it was almost a rebirth of sorts. I started to think about the fact that, resilience is in us. It is in our DNA as Black people specifically. And I said, well, I don't know what I'm going to teach these Ghanaians about resilience because they didn't taught me. And how did I not realize that, right? But it was such an amazing experience, and that was probably the most impactful, other than just being around so many passionate educators who wanted to learn, who wanted to share their knowledge with us. This was not about Americans pouring into them. This was not that. It was so not that. And I'm so grateful for that. It was truly an exchange of ideas, an exchange of experiences, understanding, getting a whole nother look at what equity is and isn't and should and shouldn't look like. We are so blessed over here. And a lot of folks complain. I just want to put them on a plane and take them to Ghana and then say, talk to me after you've been there. I'm sure you'll have some different perspectives.
Yes.
The educators that I met were just wonderful people. I'm so glad that we have the technology and WhatsApp to continue to connect with one another. And it's just been beautiful. And I cannot wait to go back. I cannot wait to engage with some of the Ghanaian educators in webinars or other ways that I can be helpful in ways that I can actually learn too. So it was just fantastic. I'm still processing a lot of it, but it was amazing.
So I'm glad you said you were still processing it because I still.
Yeah.
My sister came with me. My sister's a family and child therapist. And then my sister's mother-in-law, who's Jamaican, came with us. And even though our ancestral lineage does not come through Ghana, it didn't matter. We went to Cape Coast because our ancestors went through something similar. We finished and we were in the car with the guide. He was a young man. He was amazing. Fifi, which we realized that Fifi means born on a Friday. Okay. We went to eat and my sister was sitting there. We were just sitting in silence for a moment because I think he understood, like, these Black Americans have, like, they're just done.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister said to me, because you said resilience, my sister said, our ancestors survived that before they got on the boat.
Right. Right.
Then
Right.
survived the middle passage.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Then survived being enslaved. For our
No.
Black American selves to be sitting in Accra now.
Yes.
I mean, like, tear, like, because
Mhm.
you were already overwhelmed. But when she said that, like, it released, like, both of us. And her mother-in-law was looking, she understood, and she's Jamaican, so she understood a lot of it. And she's also older, so she was like, look, I got y'all. Because we didn't grow up in the segregation. We didn't grow up in like a fight. This, for us, was like we would say back in the day, yo, like, it was one of those, like, you did. Because I told somebody the other day, I said, I don't know if we really have to teach grit and resilience to certain children.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it's just, like you said, it's in our DNA. Because when she said that, I had to think, like, logistically, because I'm a logistical person, step by step by step,
Yes.
step.
Yes. Yes.
This lined up, and this lined up, and this lined up, and this torture, and then you endured this, and you endured this, and then you endured this, and then my people were enslaved, and then my people were free, and then my grandfather met my grandmother, and then they had my daddy, and then they had my mama over here, and my mama was adopted, and we did, like, all of this to get
Yes.
to Benita Shore.
Yeah. Wow.
All of that to get to Belinda and Scott, and then the
Mm-hmm.
grandkids. All of that. All of that, and my daddy understanding that I'm from a small town and you don't go here, you don't eat there, you go to the back here. And my mama going to see my daddy from Virginia to Georgia, and the bus driver, it gets to North Carolina, turns to her and says, I need you to go ahead and get to the back of the bus now because we're about to cross the line.
Wow.
Because I didn't have to endure that. Now we are doing something different right now, but we'll talk about that at a later time. Thank you for that. Okay, so now we're laughing. That was so beautiful. I appreciate you so much. And I've been going through watching the videos because when you're presenting, you miss another presenters.
Right. 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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's like you said, like, I didn't know what to expect because I was like,
Right.
what? And when you get there, it's the exchange. Like,
Yeah.
and I remember saying, I did a panel about technology, and they said, what do you think is next in technology? And I was like, oh, we're already in the 23rd century. And those of you who are scared of AI, we've been using AI. We've been using it, and you're gonna have to go through it. And those of us who are seasoned, we're gonna have to get on the technology bandwagon. But remember this: wisdom trumps smart.
Come on.
So
Come
we're
on.
gonna use our wisdom because these babies are smart, and I want my babies to be smart.
Yes.
But we're gonna have to trump that. We're gonna have to get together, like you were saying earlier. We're gonna have to do sessions. We're gonna have to teach the teachers.
Yes.
We're gonna have to use our wisdom. And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, everybody's on the computer. Do you know you can look at the computer screen and see what the kids are doing, especially if they're wearing glasses?
That's right.
Okay, you should know. You should know the activity they're on. This little boy clicking too much. Why he clicking so much? What he typing?
Mm-hmm.
He's typing or clicking anything. Now you on YouTube. What you doing? So because all schools don't have the technology where you can monitor what they're doing. And I walk around with the laptop. I wasn't there. I don't have that privilege. But I had to use my wisdom. Okay, let me set them by the window so the computer screen is looking into the window.
Woo. Woo.
I might have to
Those
tell them,
little
Fib, I don't know what my computer is saying. Somebody is on something else. Who is on something? Please get off. It's sending me a message. Everyone should be on this. This is the only app we're using today. Do I need to shut everyone down? And I'll never forget. I had a student teacher. She's looking over my shoulder. I said, "Just follow me. Just follow me." I said, "Because you got to be smarter than them." And she was like, and then later on, when you debrief with your student teacher, she was like, "That was the smartest thing."
Right.
She said, I said, "Let me tell you why." I took trigonometry in high school. My daddy would check my trigonometry work. It was not until I was a sophomore in college that I realized my daddy didn't know what the hell he was looking at.
I love it.
And here was my daddy told us, so Benita, go back and look at this 13 and number 5 again. Girl, I've been there like, oh my gosh, 13 and number 5. I'm like, Daddy, I think this is right though. I'm gonna ask the teacher in the morning. I'm gonna go early and ask her, Miss Hicks. I'm gonna ask Miss Hicks. This joker played me like only a parent can.
I love it.
You Trump smart.
Yes.
And we laugh about it. 'Cause go
But
ahead.
look at what he taught you in just that.
Just
He taught you to check your work, to revise, to think again, to go and seek out additional support, right?
right.
All just that one action. He taught you all of that,
And he
right?
didn't make me feel like I didn't know it. He was just like, just check
Right.
it in. Like,
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that is brilliant. That's brilliant. And
right.
when you think about like reimagining education, some of that I think is a big part of it is, you know, education, the things that we teach should be a flow.
Ooh,
There should be connections because our world is connected. So we have to be able to help students know how everything is connected and not that we're all giving it to them. What we're doing was we putting that proverbial plate in front of them, right? And then asking them, how are these things connected? How are they related? Play around with it, mess around with it. Let's see what happens. Maybe you'll find something different that I even saw,
ooh,
right? So that reimagining is I'm not going to do it all the same way, the same procedures. I'm only going to read the same books by the same authors all the time. I'm only going to spend the same amount of time on this part of history. And, I don't really have time for that part of history. It's really not as important. Like, no. And you can also teach that history from one perspective anymore. That's not okay. You have got to be presenting students with multiple points of view so that they can come up with their own perceptions and understandings about history and how things are interconnected.
what a great
So that reimagining is everywhere, and it's in every single subject area. It's in every single part of our how we do school, so that kids are not thinking that this thing doesn't matter. Everything matters to a degree. Now, I don't use a whole bunch of algebra every day,
no,
but depending on what you end up wanting to do, you're going to have to figure out some things with some unknown variables. Okay,
that's just
right?
real.
That's just real. That's just life. So it's exciting, and I love that topic, reimagining education for the future. I love that the summit held that title because it really started to make me think about how do I do education differently, and how do I bring what we do so well already and just try to make it better.
Because it's like this. So I told somebody, I said, because I'm now in a micro school setting, in a private school setting, I have a little bit more freedom to do what I was already doing in public school, but I don't get in trouble. Okay, so nobody's
Whew.
yelling at me. I don't have to close my door. And this is the year of unlearning. But I'm also unlearning these bad
Mhm.
things that I've picked up.
Mhm.
In, communicating the way I communicate with certain things and the way I interact with certain things. I'm unlearning as an adult, as an educator, as a professional, but I'm replacing it. And like you said, like I've always been that person, like we're the only country that teaches stuff in isolation. Other countries teaches it all together. And we stop when we get to middle school. In elementary school, you have these units. And
Yes.
we're gonna read the Hungry Hungry Caterpillar, and we're gonna look at the caterpillar, and we're gonna talk about Earth and the weather, and then you start getting in sixth grade, we start compartmentalizing everything.
Yeah. Right. 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 Right.
Well, why? So now
Exactly.
I'm over here with the math teacher going, I want us to do a simulation. He's like, okay, what you want us to do? I want us to do a simulation for social emotional learning, but I'm gonna pull in history also because I want the kids to plan a trip. He's like, what? Gonna plan a trip. But they're gonna plan a trip according to the budget of the job that they have.
Okay.
And so we gave them job. Good. And these kids, they was hot. First of all, they was hot to try because they picked these jobs. I work at a fast food company. I want to make $28,000 a year. I said, that's real, boo. And we made it easy. No one is married. No one has a spouse. No one has a girlfriend or boyfriend. You don't have pets or kids. It's just you.
Wow.
It's just you and your boys trip or your girls trip or your cousins or your sisters, but you're only paying for you. And we're giving you 6 months to plan. So it's not even like you jumped up and said, let me go. You can do a payment plan. Like, so we're break. Ooh, they were not happy. Because the girl, she said, well, by the time I was paying rent, and I said, but see, one. want you to reimagine that. So how can you get overtime? Some of y'all made
Mm.
mama working 2 jobs, but then you understand. And you got, and she brought you some new cleats that was $60 because you just grew out of the other ones last week. What you talking about? And so it
Mm.
opened, like I had a lot of kids going, oh, I didn't know. And I said, and I'm not, I want you to understand because you're in middle school. Okay. So you're not 8-year-old, you're an 8th grader.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to be conscious of these things. Like when your mama not just swiping that card, there's money in the bank on the other end of that card.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And you tell her you just nothing in the house to eat. You don't want to fix something, or it's nothing that you want to eat right now, but it's groceries here. Get a sandwich and go sit down. Okay. And he was like, "You right, Miss." So, but then we're not in isolation anymore because now we're pulling in. My kids have calculators out. They're talking to parents. Parents are texting me, telling me, "What are y'all talking about in class?" I said, "Oh, they talking to you. Look, we have broken down barrier."
Oh, I love that. Love that.
Okay, so we're gonna do our game. Back in the day, one of my favorite songs. It's still my favorite song. It's called "You Can Get With This" or "You Can Get With That." Have a couple of questions related to education, related to you as a person, so the TEC family can get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
You have the option of saying both because we're still human. But if you
Okay, good.
choose this or that, that's fine. You don't have to give an explanation, even though educators we always do. Like, no, it's both because I'm not going to say we'll let you go ahead and do it. So this is
Okay.
this or that. Where is my little? There it is. I'm trying to find my little ticket. Traditional classrooms or virtual learning environment. Individual
My
projects.
favorite all day.
You know, he says that no one has picked just one or the other.
No,
I love that about us.
hybrid. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I need to change that one. Individual projects or collaborative group work.
Ooh. Wow. To say both, but I would lean towards collaborative.
All right. In-person workshop or online webinars.
In person.
Do you want an ebook or do you want a real book?
Right now, an ebook because I got too many real books.
All right. When you are traveling, do you listen to audiobooks or podcasts?
Both.
Okay. Creative arts integration or STEM focus.
Boy. If it's personally, it's gonna be creative art.
Okay. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
This one is always hard for me, believe it or not. I would say I'm a night owl. I think I come alive, in the PM. Yeah, so probably a night owl, and I stay up
I
probably
love
a little
that.
later than I should sometimes.
Okay, here's the last one. Flexible scheduling or a fixed timetable.
Flexible scheduling
Flexible
all
scheduling.
day.
I love it. Thank you for playing this. All right.
Hey,
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell my
yeah.
put some music. I don't know.
Yeah, you should put that song in there. Put that little clip from the song.
We gotta
You
make sure
can hear it.
he's gonna have to get it off the music. We don't have to pay for it. If we pay for it, but we won't get sued for it. He's gonna have to do that. So this is how we wrap up. One, if you want to shout out your HBCU or your PWI, and or you're a member of the Deep Divine Nine, pause for a moment, shout them out.
So I have to shout out. Actually, my college was Simmons College, which is now Simmons University here in Boston, and then UMass Boston, University of Massachusetts at Boston for my grad degree, my educational administration degree. And I will shout out Black Women Education Leaders Incorporated, of which I am the president currently, supporting Black women in all levels of education. It is a wonderful, wonderful space that is growing. And yeah, I think that's it.
I'm sitting here like, I didn't even apply. Let me get my life together because I follow y'all. I know what's happening.
Oh, we would love to have you as a member, but I was going to do that after the recording.
No, we're gonna shout it out now. So those of you who are listening, you need to come on with me, and we're gonna sign up and get our lives together because I do
Yeah.
follow you guys on social media.
Yes.
So
Yes,
then
yes.
now we're talking about social media. How before we end, how do we connect with you? How do we get you to come in and talk to our educational leaders? How do we know it's time for us to go to meet you in Ghana again to be at your next presentation? How do we follow you on social media? Where are you and how can we connect with you?
Sure. On next Twitter and IG, I am at Trey Clark Leads at TRECLARKLEADS. And on LinkedIn, I am Trelane Clark. There's more than one, but you'll see my picture.
I love it. And let me tell you something. So I meet a lot of people all the time because I talk to people. I don't like everybody, and y'all know that. This sister right here is like one of the realists. I think I'm gonna send her my Spotify playlist. Like we were talking about that, and I was like, yeah. And we were talking, and she reminded me of one of my good friends. My good friend, she follows me on Instagram. She goes, "Look, your Instagram go from ratchet to save real quick." Like, girl, because we need a lot more sometimes, but sometimes I need to set y'all straight. Okay?
For sure.
Speaking of church, this is how we end. Y'all know I grew up going to Little Shallow Baptist Church on Otterdam Road in Emporia, Virginia. Shout out Southside, VA. I am the pastor of the church, Principal Clark, Joe Clark. She's not related to Joe Clark. That's not a real person.
I am not.
Not a real person. Okay. Well, it actually was a real person. It was a real person.
His heart was exactly where it needed to be.
100%. Okay. And she is the guest pastor. So I've already done a benediction, open the doors of the church. But you know, the guest pastor is always going to do a call to action, and they're going to leave us some encouragement to go forth. So that's what I'm going to charge you with, how you can end any way you want to. Some people sang, somebody rapped, somebody did a poem. Give us your favorite inspirational quote. However you want to end this, we're going to end this. But before we end, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I'm not doing anything on Saturday because I ain't got to, because it's about self-care and it's essential. But thank you for coming on here, working with our technology. Y'all the devil tried to get us.
He tried it, but it didn't work.
Like, I know. I'm like, oh, this about to be good. It was like 43 minutes to get it together.
But together was God. Okay.
Come on. And it's good as gold. So however you want to leave us, we are so appreciative of you joining us, and we are going to roll out with it.
All right. Well, I will say that as educators, we have a responsibility. We have a call on our lives. I believe that that is a call. You can learn how to be a leader. I do believe that wanting to work with children and families and other educators is a calling. We need to take that calling seriously, but we also need to and be grateful for it. Gratitude is a huge, huge piece for me. And we need to take care of ourselves so that we can fulfill that call. That is just so important. It's becoming more and more ever present for me. And so my call to action is to take care of you so that you can take care of everyone else. Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, Principal Clark, thank you. Season 8, support, subscribe, share, but more importantly, listen to what she said right there. I'm not even going to repeat it. We're just going to say bye now.
Bye.
Hold on one second. Let me end the recording. Thank you. Let me tell you why the devil did